starting with the teams that Jamie posted that was registered. He posted a list of them earlier. The graphic was shown there. Dream is in there. So they're going to be back at Nationals, still playing in A. They're going to try to tough it out. They've had a rough year, though. This is going to be their biggest test yet because they're going to face possibly the most talent that's been in an A bracket in most recent 9-man Nationals years, especially when you take a look at the teams who are entering, the potential talent on there. Main Event, of course, they're coming back. We're not going to see Main Event for a bit, not until then. They're not going to be at Rhode Island. I haven't heard about them at Capital Classic yet, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what they can do and where they're at come Nationals. They won last year. We saw the run they made. They are still playing on that level.
I think they'll be just fine.
Yeah, they've made the championship in every tournament that they have been at going back to Worlds. Misfits, of course, they're signed up for A. NTB Wolfpack, defending B champion. But the one team that has me curious, Ross, Category 5 out of the South Florida Flag Football Association. We've been talking about them a lot lately. They've been trying to get something going down there in Miami. And the man right now who is leading the way, who's been making statements, he himself, a former NFL player, a national champion, Mr. Ricky Jean-Francois. Welcome to Blunt Talk. Glad to have you on.
I'm glad to be on. Thanks for having me.
Glad to meet you, sir. Hey, I was a huge fan of that 07 LSU squad. Like every single week, watching you guys was great. That was one of the teams I ever saw. That defense was on fire that year. Like every game just came down to the wire.
We're the only 10-2 team in BCS history to be able to win a national title and be the #1 ranked team. That was a memorable year. I was happy to bring a national title back since Nick Saban left. So I know we had to get one with Coach Miles, and that was a great year, especially to win it in our backyard in New Orleans. That was even better because it was only a 35-minute drive back to Baton Rouge.
Like that's the memories that matter most. Winning a championship right there at home, being able to go back home that night, see all your friends, see potential family.
That's like a high school game.
That's the dream. Yeah, that's literally the high school game dream right there.
Man.
Like getting to that state championship.
That's wild.
But I gotta ask, Rick, what brings you to 9-man?
Oh man,
because I know you recently retired. You had a 10-year career in the NFL, I believe.
Correct. Yeah.
10 years, and we always talk about it. Like, where do players usually go to after the league? Some guys tend to not go back to play football because they get to a certain level where it's hard to really go back down a bit. But other guys, they venture off into other sports. We've seen it when we've seen the presence in the NFL and the flag football community in recent time. We saw with the AFFL when they did the pros versus Joes back in 2018.
Right.
And from what I've been seeing and hearing on the message boards, this Category 5 team has potential to be a hurricane storm coming through Orlando that weekend.
It can be. It possibly can be. It's just made out of a bunch of guys out of the South Florida Flag Football Association. We went and got all the best players, and we got to mush together. We feel like we got the best athletes because, like I always tell everybody, and it's a big argument in football, Florida has the best football hands down. I understand people get an argument about that, but I believe we got the athletes to go out there to be able to match up in Group A. A lot of people tell me it's a lot of competition there, but the only way we're going to find out where we're at, we're going to have to play against competition. A lot of guys kept telling me about B, but I wanted to go with A with my guys, and I believe in the talent we have. We have so much talent in that league from receivers to DB. But for myself, why I came, because I wasn't done with football. I was done for the aspect of NFL, but I still believe I had a lot still in me. And one day, one of my friends called me. It was last year. He called me and he was like, "Rick, man, it's a 9-man football league." And I'm like, "They don't have D linemen or O-linemen." He was like, "Yes, this is the first league that is in South Florida has linemen and flags." So as soon as he told me that, and soon as he told me that, I jumped back in the saddle. I started playing. I played with my first team called No Stars. Got with them. They couldn't really get it together because that was the first year being in the league. Then the same season, I flipped over to No Excuses. You probably know Vic Mahler.
Yeah, we actually saw No Excuses. I believe you had them last year at Nationals, right, Ross?
Yes, I
They was
did.
in B.
Yeah.
So I joined his team, and we went on some great runs. We played with some good players, but it started just making me itch. Like, I know it's more than just this league. Like, somebody tell me, like, what's the world, like, flag football world like? And I'm not going to even lie, flag football humbled me, because you could be the most disruptive D lineman ever, but if you can't pull that flag, it doesn't matter how disrupted you are. You could be the best athlete, but flag football and football are two different things. And I take my hat off to people that can play flag football, because you got to have a different skill set and ability, like no other, to be able to play this. I understand, like pros versus Joes. You seen how that game was even going. The ref was even cheating to help because of that game. Because NFL players got to understand. I understand NFL is a prestige, but flag football, nah, that's a whole different level of football that you got to respect just as well.
That's the thing. Like, a lot of guys underestimate that. I think that they think it transitions. It doesn't fully transition for everybody. No. Like, don't get me wrong. I've always said flag football is a sport where you can come from almost any background of sports or any sort of working out, if you're in shape, if you can find a way to learn to play the sport, whether it be being a flag puller, playing linebacker, maybe going in the trenches. We've seen unlikely people over the years pop into this game. We had a guy from our high school who popped out of nowhere, who never really played football. Guys just jump onto it. They play the sport. They get into it. And I think because of that, 9-man has grown. And you can talk about the presence of linemen. It is very hard to find a lot of leagues across the country in flag that do play with offensive and defensive linemen in the traditional football sense.
But that's why I like when people say he plays 7. Like, most states don't have 7-man. That's automatically 4-man, 5-man. But where's the league that if NFL players do leave or practice squad players don't make the roster or anything, where can they go to keep their talent going? And I know in South Florida, I push a lot of athletes down here. If you're a free agent or something, I'd be like, hey, come to South Florida flag football. I understand it's flag football, but believe me, this is going to help you.
Remember that.
Yeah,
once you start realizing what it is, it's flag football. It's flag football.
Flag is. I always say flag is merely a suggestion in 9-man.
Yeah,
it is full contact. We've seen some hits over the years. Like, we've seen downfield blocking. Like, that's the one thing about it. Guys sleep on this sport.
If you can get
and I don't and Pete, when I finally open my eyes to this sport and start looking at more videos, start looking at more tournaments, I was like, it's different. Like, we don't play national rules in our league, but me just going to tournaments and seeing how tournament play is, that's a whole different level of football. It don't look like Sunday over and over and over again, especially when you're playing against top teams, especially a lot of the teams that I heard you just spoke about. Just imagine playing somebody like that game in, game out. So you got to get used to the game. You got to show respect to this game and have a different mindset to this, because, like I said, you can go in there and be like, oh, man, I'm the best pass rusher. I could do this. You have a quarterback flip his hip so quick, and you'll just shoot past him. Next, that could have been a game-winning pull, but you missed that. But I respect the game. I'm still learning more and more about it, but I love it. I like it, and I think this is a area that I think the NFL needs to start pushing. Even retired players, but even like younger kids that can't really get in the door of the NFL yet. I think they need to come to 9-man football. I don't care what position, safety, middle linebacker, D tackle, DN. They actually need to come to this level.
He's saying what you and I talk about off camera and on occasional episodes about like we had even talked about, like, up here, they don't do spring football like they do down south. Down there, they have the spring practices and conditioning. Right. Here, they suggest you try wrestling or basketball or something else to stay in shape.
Yeah, that's usually
but I do think it would be great if we could allow our players up here to give them access to a flag football style like a 9-man. We did see it. The Timothy Rich tournament back in May. Yeah. It was ages 12 through 14. It was a successfully ran 9-man tournament. There was no real injuries. No one really got hurt. Everybody went out and played. And those kids brought so much fire and intensity to the game. And just seeing it like play out like that was great. Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah, that was a great, yeah. Like I wrote, and you go back to it. I think it'd be great for the NFL and former players to get involved in it. And we see it all the time. We've seen guys come down from practice squads. We talk about how main event, they will bring in guys who have that experience. We've known guys in our sport who played a little bit in the league, but not many of them have the accolades of someone like a Ricky Jean-Francois, who has a BCS championship, who went out there and has played in a Super Bowl. I believe you were on the Patriots roster in 51, correct?
Patriots and San Francisco 49ers who played for Ravens.
And San Francisco. Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing about it. We always talk about all the time, the one thing that a lot of players in the sport tend to be missing that certain players aren't, is that football conditioning and training. That, and we saw it last year when O'Shane came into the league, fresh out of high school. He was somebody who was in transition to get to college, but he was out there. He was catching passes. He was shutting down experienced receivers. He ended up playing circuit ball with Rampage. He's played a bit with Misfits. Like, guys are getting out there and are playing the sport. And I think people undervalue and underestimate how much having that skill of football can play in. Like, a lot of corners, we talk about all the time. There's corners who don't really know coverage schemes. And we've seen guys call it out in the game all the time. Like, you don't know what a cover 4 is, and they're just looking like, no.
Oh, bro, believe it. It shocked me when I got in and I asked them, like, yo, you know what a cover 3 is? Okay, cool. I turned back around. I see a bomb happening. I'm like, dude, do you really know what a cover 3 is? 3, dude, you the fucking safety, bro. Like, but because I came from the NFL and I'm coming into flag football, I'm thinking people have that football knowledge. It doesn't matter if it's flag football or not. You got to have knowledge to even play this game. And when you hear people saying, no, I don't know what this means, I'd be like, bro, I know you got Madden at home. I know you have Madden. I know you have some type of football game that'll show
my first playbook in 9-man for a team was based on Madden.
I was getting ready to say that, though.
Oh, Madden?
Yeah, legit. I used a Madden playbook for my first 9-man team I coached way back in the day.
How did it work?
How'd it work? I won my very first coaching game and then lost the rest of them. but TBT does have 4 flag football championships.
But I always tell guys, I'm like, if you're gonna get the game, at least appreciate it. Learn what a coverage is. Learn going to the flats, the deep thirds, the middle of the field, because it's easy communication for the back end. If the back end no coverages, you don't even really got to get in the huddle. The front just got to know they got to cover each other when it's time to either do stunts or either we got to beat our guy one-on-one.
Like coaching kids, man. There's coachable guys out there, and there's guys that think they know it all, and they come in, they don't know jack shit.
I think that happens a lot,
They still think they know it all, and then there's coachable guys out there where, like you said, they don't know shit, but they show up day one, they're like, I'm gonna learn everything there is to learn.
And we've seen a lot of those guys over the years too, who come into this sport and learn the game and are open to it. And I think a lot of guys undervalue those type of players too. The beautiful thing about this sport has gotten to be, we've had guys who play on the pro level, mixing it up with guys who come in on a rec level initially, just trying to play, but it's allowing those guys to get better on the rec level because they're learning how to go against those teams, how to play against them. They're studying them. And it's allowing a lot of guys to grow in this sport. And I think that's the one beautiful thing about what we've got in 9-man, is that it's people from all over, different backgrounds, different sports. Some grew up playing football, some never did. We've had quarterbacks. Like, we talk about Chris Boone and the success he's had in flag football, AFFL semifinalist. He got won 5-man A nationals back in May. He's got several 9-man championships. He didn't play high school football, but he's one of the most successful quarterbacks in the country because he was smart enough to learn it. Yeah.
And that's crazy. That's showing appreciation to the game. And it's a few guys in our league that I didn't know didn't play a lick of high school football, but they're good at playing this shit. And I'm like, I said, they got experience. They actually appreciate and learn the game. If you got it, the only way you play this, you got to learn it. You got to learn it. There's no way you could just come out here. You have the ability, but your ability has to have a tweak to it when you're playing flag football. It can't be just, all right, this is going to be traditional football. Nah, this work a little bit different way. But up front, you got, sometimes you have 3 down linemen, sometimes you have 4 down linemen. But at the end of the day, the trenches, you can't change nothing about it. You got to just beat the man in front of you and make sure you can get to that quarterback hip and then get that pull. Because if you can't, I promise you that was the most aggravating thing for me my first year in flag. I'm like, I can beat the lineman, but I have to pull. I have one of my guys, JC Rodriguez, right? He plays quarterback. I used to always hate rushing against him because he could twist his hips. And I used to always ask him, I said, dude, did you play in tournaments or something? He was like, bro, it was his name, JC Rodriguez, right? He took me under his wing and he showed me like the world of flag football. When he showed me, I was like, okay, now I appreciate the game. I look at the game a lot different now. I understand why it's so difficult for NFL players to transition over here, even though we're hard-headed as hell, because somebody taught you the NFL is the top football in the world. But now when you go to flag football, you're trying to figure out, like, why can't this shit just translate over? Because it's not the NFL anymore. Now you gotta respect this game a little bit different, and you have to learn it, especially from the rules. You got to know it from the rules standpoint because you need every advantage to win in something like this. And in this our first year as a team going up, but a lot of guys like AD, YG, Duke, we have so many players on the like top elite 11 that those dudes are so experienced. I can sit there and ask them like, yo, tell me about tournament play or tell me about this. So we made sure we got experience on our team who knows how to play on that level, so it just won't be a shock to everybody.
I'm looking forward to seeing like what you guys bring to the table. Like I've had my eye on South Florida since hearing about No Excuses last year, because we're always looking to see where other leagues are playing the sport at. Like, yeah, you followed Kings of Florida down in 8-man and everything. You know, Florida has a lot of talent for the sport of flag football. And we talk about the potential of Miami itself as a flag football market. If you get the game of 9-man going to the level of what it is in, say, St. Louis, where you had at many times up to 20 teams playing the sport and playing for a Central City championship, or even what Baltimore has had traditionally up here, or DC. We talk about it. Around here in the DMV, we had 28 combined total teams last spring playing overall.
Right.
And you could almost put together almost an NFL-sized league with the amount of teams we had going around here. Up north, it's a religion up in New York and Connecticut. Pennsylvania starting to get
what a lot of guys. That's what a lot of guys tell us. They're like, up north, this is year round. These dudes do this for a living. For us, it's more like season here and there. But South Florida, like you said, I just wanted to come in here and just put my 2 cents into the league and be like, hey, if you want to start bringing tournaments down here, why not just go to nationals and put your footprint there, and then you get to meet everybody. Or let's start playing in different classics. I think it's one up you guys' way. I kept sending on the page the whole time, and we was asking a lot of guys could they make it to that tournament in November. I think it's right before Thanksgiving or after Thanksgiving, because
there's Capital Classic. Yeah, Capital Classic's going to be up up in Tucker Road, down by DC, Fort Washington. It's right past Arlington, Alexandria area. That's going to be right before Thanksgiving weekend. They're hosting that. That's going to be the last DMV one of the year, I believe. We don't tend to do many December tournaments because, travel tends to be a little bit harder this time of the year. But
right.
I can tell you the DMV has really embraced this game as a whole. Not even just DMV, like over here in the 4th state. We talk about it all the time. KFFL, Washington County, the 2 9-man leagues we have over here. We got a whole highway that spans 45 minutes where you can hit Pennsylvania, Maryland, West Virginia, and Virginia.
Because everything right there in the area.
Yeah.
Like everything is right there. So
right there, I-81. You hit that road, you can hit all 4 states in an hour.
Yeah.
And we've had all the talent coming over there from Winchester, from DC, Baltimore. We've seen what York is doing. St. Louis holding it strong in the Midwest. I would love to see the Midwest re-embrace 9-man. Back in the day, the Midwest had a bit of a hot spot for the sport, but it's faded for 8-man over time. And it's a shame because when I think of 9-man, why the Midwest would thrive with that sport. A lot of linemen you could find in that over there.
For sure. Up north and Midwest, for sure, yes. You should be able to find that. Down here, like in Florida, you'll find the athletes. You'll find a bunch of them. Linemen is going to be kind of difficult. Like how you said, in the Midwest, they should, like you said, they should thrive on that. You can even look at the colleges. What's the one biggest thing, Iowa and Nebraska, all them thrive on. They got linemen. They're good for it. Utah, New Mexico, like they thrive on that type of, they thrive on in that position of area. You've seen like dudes been drafted top 5 in the NFL coming out of the area. So like you said, you are right. You need to do that. But this league is coming together. And I think we started, the first year, the first year I got in, it was 10. Now I think the word got out more around South Florida, like guys coming from down south around Key West, dudes coming from Homestead, guys might be coming up a little north. But the biggest thing I was always telling guys is I just want to keep everybody here so we can start getting those tournaments, so we can start getting those 4, 5, 6, 7-man tournaments down in South Florida. Everybody want to come to Manning. Not just what's the reason you want to bring them in. And I believe the tournament play would be it for everybody to come in.
Yeah, I think that's how you get started. And like you think about it, that is the best avenue to get that territory moving fast. I believe it's like a 2.5, 3-hour drive between the two cities. And
yeah, it's literally you can jump on the road and probably play a good CD. By the time that whole CD over, you already sitting in Miami or you sitting in Orlando. And even in the Tampa area. So this league is growing, and I can't wait to see this league keep evolving. But like I told the guys, we need to go to nationals first. We need to go as a group, as a unit, so we can put the display of what our league holds. And I know a lot of guys. I've seen a lot of guys showing, saying words here and there because they never seen us before. But a lot of people got to understand, a lot of these guys have already played on circuits. A lot of these guys have already played on teams, so it's not like it's coming as a shocker to it. We just want to see how it works all together, because I always hate when I see guys so much talent leave out of Miami to go play for a main event, to go play for the Outlaws, to go play for a breast cancer. Why you want to keep going playing out when all you guys can play together? All you guys say you're the best player in the state or the best player in football. Why not put all that talent together and let's go a display against the St. Louis, against the New York, against the Pennsylvania, like a DMV, because that's the only way we're going to make our mark. That's the only way we're going to start getting people attention. Everybody wants us to come, but we haven't got it together. And I believe now is going to be that time. It's time to turn the page, and it's time to actually bring a full team, linemen, quarterbacks, everything, bring the best out of the South Florida Flag Association, and show teams like we can run it with you. At any position, we can run it with you. We play a different style of football. South Florida is a different style of football. You can see that in the NFL, college, high school level. Our football is a lot different. But
yeah,
we can talk a good game, but now we need to go up there to nationals, put on a good game so everybody can be convinced of what type of football we do have down here. And for the future down the line, how many other tournaments we want to do, and we want to invite everybody down and, get it on again. Because I think it was just a women's tournament down here.
Yes.
Just last week.
Yes. I was actually supposed to be down there for that one. Unfortunately, work kicked in, and 6 a.m. Monday is kind of hard to swing after a weekend in Miami. It happens.
I can definitely see that being an issue.
Yeah. Jerome Russo was down there. The Lynn Lewis Foundation, I believe, offhand was what it was. They had that tournament down there this week. Hey, big shout out to Jerome. Like, it was tough media wise. I had to drop out. Ben had to drop out, but Jerome stuck it out. He worked both days, a full day between them. He's putting in the work. He's on the grind. Big respect to Jerome Russo and the work he's doing out there. Predator Productions LLC is his page. You'll see him live at nationals. He's out there all the time putting in the work. Same here for us. More so me these days. We miss you out there, Ross. Coaching life's got to get busy, I know.
trying to bring up the next generation, man.
And I'm proud of you for doing that.
Rhonda, I applaud you. I take my hat off for that.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say around here with flag football, especially with kids.
It's very Wild West at this point.
The organization I work for now, they're talking about doing like a spring flag football league, and they want me to coach it. So,
And like I said earlier,
and
get that going.
I'll sign up for that.
I know you're going to sign up. You were able to get Shrooms actually into the B Triple A. Yeah, because they have no actual rules on flags, so it don't matter if it's Shrooms or triple threats. It don't matter.
Oh,
yeah. So like I feel bad for the 6-7-year-olds trying to pull Shroom flags at a young age. They're going to be the best. They're going to be better flag pullers than their fathers and grandfathers, though.
I can tell you that for sure.
That's the thing.
I already got that one step up, so that way
exactly.
So they practice each other. So then when they go out and play against flag attack flags, they're just it's easier.
It's yeah.
Pulling air.
Yeah.
There's so much difference, man.
And that makes me optimistic of the next generation of this game. Like, I talk about it all the time. I grew up in Marty Snook Park in the late 90s. My dad had what was a thrown together tackle team of his friends that he just put in the flag football because he had nowhere else to play.
Right.
They ran the wing tee offense in 9-man flag football, Ricky.
Serious?
The wing tee.
Hey.
The wing tee.
I've seen it ran with 11-man, but 9-man?
They ran it in 9-man. My dad was the center. My uncle was the fullback. The quarterback was my dad's friend, also named Joey, who was actually my center on my first team I coached. And
I know they had to beat everybody because that's a hard offense to stop.
I believe they did get to the championship in that 97 season. I got 3 games from that season from when they played up in Washington County, one being a regular season, one being the playoff game with Hannigan's Outlaws, and one back what they used to call Maryland States, which was the old championship in 9-man. Yeah, a lot of great footage. We've been going back in the archives and finding state championships. Like we've been going back in the archives and finding stuff from as far back as 1994 in this 9-man game. Yeah, I'll send that to you. The 94 North American Flag Football Association 9-man championships. We got some footage of the CNS Cowboys from that era. And even crazier, Ricky, they got legit Cowboys jerseys on.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I'm going to send that to you a little bit.
I got to see that.
Yeah, like I said, we've been around this 9-man game for a bit. 2014 for me is when I started getting invested in it. I know you came around 2016, Ross.
Yeah.
And that the way it's grown and taken off since I got here has been on a whole other level. Beating that, like Nationals back in 2017, the team list was only about 28 teams. They're going to double that guaranteed this year with the way it's going. And we're going to see the best of the best competition, whether it's going to be main event defending their championship, Misfits making the jump into A. Nationals was great. And I think it's going to be even better this year, especially with this Category 5 team coming in. A lot of potential in that South Florida area. Not a lot of people know what goes on down there. There's no live streamers like me down there going live every single week. They just know that it's in Florida. But I believe this team come Nationals, if the potential lives up, if you guys get it together, I think they're going to be one of those teams to look out for that could make a run in the day 3 and surprise some people. It's going to come down to matchups. That's the biggest thing. Matchups and chemistry. And truthfully, if you got the recruits together, you got roughly 3 months of practice left. That's plenty of time to get going.
Oh, believe me, we already on it. We already started sitting down. We already started planning that out because I know all other teams are doing it. I understand all other teams play games all the time, but this is our time, our first time coming together as a team to play with each other. But that's going to be the biggest thing. Who got the chemistry? Who going to be able to go through them thick times in 2 minute, 4 minute, and those different parts of the game that if you're down by 2 touchdowns, is everybody going to crack? Somebody going to do something? So believe me, like you said, with that 3 month, every day is pivotal. Every day we got to find a way to get ahead of the game because we're playing from behind. As a team, we're playing from behind because a lot of these teams, like you speak of, already played in national multiple times and played in tournaments and played on circuit. Yeah, all our guys have played on circuit, but have they played together? No, but that's our biggest thing. If we can get our chemistry together, we can get it all glued together. Come national, it'll be like an orchestra just saying somebody play Beethoven.
I can't wait.
play as much 9-man between now and then as you can.
Fine. Like I said, even if you got to do something where everybody comes to the park and pulls in other guys from competition, make it happen. Like
you get 20, 22 guys together in one spot at a time. Play 9-on-9.
so I know you guys aren't playing fall season. I believe you play a winter session and a summer session.
Yeah, right. Yeah, we go right from winter all winter. Yeah.
What's that?
In February, that's when our season began. Last year, because of COVID, we had to move it around. But February is our season, the beginning of our season.
That's a good time. Florida's pretty cool in February. Yeah.
Because I was about to say South Florida don't know what winter is, so
I can't even imagine.
Yeah.
I will say Orlando gets a lot colder than I expected. Like it went down big time last year when we were out there.
Orlando was in like the 20s.
It felt like it. It felt like it when we came out that first day.
That time.
So 3 teams you want to see at nationals. What would you say out of any of the 9-man A teams across the country? I don't know how much you'll be able to follow this year, but if you were to name 3 teams to face, who would you face?
I like to face all of them, but I heard main event names so many times. Like I've been recruited by them also, but I also want to lock up against them and feel like saying they're the defending national champion, and it'll be something to go up against that type of team. I don't really know. I would love to go up against my own teammate. I love him to death, Victor Mahler. I would love to go against him on the national stage. That would be funny. Playing against No Excuses would be an interesting thing to play on that type of stage. I don't really follow any other team. I knew Florida Outlaws, but I knew it was like a 7. I think that was a 7-man team.
Yeah, so that might be 7.
I think it was 7. So now I'm like I said, I'm still growing on it. I usually follow everything behind you. So if I see you post a video, I'm watching the video. If I see another group, I keep getting in all different leagues across the country, so I can see everybody. So I can see everybody games. I can see what I'm going to go up against, or just let our presence be known. But I know one, like I said, main event is probably one of the teams I would love to see because I hear so much about them. I have a few teammates that play on that team. Speedy plays on that team. Tim Brown plays on that team. A few other guys play on that team.
He's not named Speedy for no reason.
Believe I got a chance to play. I got a chance to play with him my first year in flag football. If a guy like him with not that much space, he can do some damage. He literally can do some damage in space.
Yeah.
You know what I want to see?
That's different level type shit.
I want to see Ricky line up on Tivis. Can Ricky handle Tivis?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I just know Tivis is watching and he's going to talk big shit in the comment. Yeah, he's been commenting the whole time. He wants to smoke from Ricky Jean-Francois.
Oh, no, hey, man, I always tell him I love to do this. I do this shit for fun. I love lining up. Hey, at least I get to go against the best. I always tell dudes, don't pay attention. I played in the NFL. I'm just another guy that's lining them from you, trying to get off of your ass every time. That's all.
Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing what you can do out there and what this Category 5 team has in store for the rest of 9-man A. The factor of the unknown, and we've seen it. Teams.
Tivis saying he don't want it.
Tivis saying Ricky don't want it.
No, Tivis don't want it.
Tivis don't want it. We got to make it happen. We need Misfits versus Category 5. We got to see Ricky versus Tivis. I'll film that side the whole game.
Is he at tackle? Is he at center or guard?
It depends on, like, last year he was a bench warmer. Tivis knows I'm messing with him. But I'm looking forward to it. Like, this is going to be awesome. I'm excited to see what Category 5 has in store. And, we've seen teams in their first 9-man tournament come out and win it all. You remember, Ross, Adrenaline Rush 4 years ago when they won the Mason-Dixon Classic in Hagerstown. They beat 7-point spread, who was the 9-man A national champions coming into that, who also was the 9-man A national champion runner-up 2 months later in Florida. They beat them twice that weekend. Chris Boone and company won their first 9-man A tournament. We saw it with Empire back in Atlantic City when they beat Rideout. a ride-out team that was allowing 0 points through 5 games and 3.5 quarters before Empire took the lead at the very end. The only team to score on ride-out that weekend. And we're seeing them stepping up in the GCFFA. I think they're going to be playing B at Nationals, but I'm really liking what's happening right now in this 9-man sport. And we're seeing different territories emerge. We've talked about St. Louis for a while. The South's kind of been lacking in places. We know there's an Alabama 9-man team. I don't know where they come from, though. There's Bahamas. Bahamas has a state-sponsored 9-man league.
Yeah, they tried. Yeah, they want to. Those guys reached out to Shannon multiple times, and they wanted to come over and do a tournament in Miami. So that's why I was like, man, we got to do it. We got to do a tournament in South Florida. We have to do one because I believe it'll be a big turnout. I know it'll be a big turnout if we can go up to nationals, put our foot in the ground, make sure we get a title, and we show everybody who we really are. So I believe with our play and our experience, I think things will help us out. I believe we'll be helping. All my guys ready to play. They just ready to get out there and play, but we got 3 months to put this puzzle together. We got 3 months to do it before it's time to put it on display.
I'm looking forward to seeing what this full puzzle looks like. I'll be making that trip down to Florida. I'm excited about this. I really hope to see this team out there in the field. And I do believe if it can live up to the hype and come out there, like I said, element of the unknown. If you don't know the opponent you're facing, you just hear one name so far. They just know Ricky Jean-Francois on the team. That's a lineman. Who else do they got? We won't know. Nobody's going to know until we see it nationals. And the beauty of it is being so close to home, you can have up until that last minute of building up guys to bring in there. There's going to be a lot of guys making that short trip. And there's a lot of talent as well when you go up on I-4 through Tampa Bay and Orlando that can come along the rest of the way. Even if it's their first chance at 9-man, you never know what can happen. ADR's done it. Empire's done it. We did it as a Summer Sizzler. Our first 9-man tournament we won. Anything can happen. In this sport, that's what makes it great. And I look forward to seeing Category 5 come nationals. It's a hurricane warning in Orlando that weekend.
That's it, baby. Hey, we coming. Everybody, I understand everybody said we want to smoke. Hey, just make sure you line it up when it's time to come play.
This is going to be awesome. I've been telling you all year, Ross, everybody wants to smoke in the game now. It's getting crazy. And 9-man, I think, is at its all right now as a whole, compared to where things were years ago. I think we're the greatest it's been. And the competition that's coming into the sport, the leagues that are popping up, more teams. I'd like to see a tournament down in Miami. I think that'd be great.
Hey, I'm gonna say it now, South Beach Invitational, guys. For everybody listening, that's gonna be the first tournament that's thrown in Miami. South Beach Invitation. I want everybody to bring, get their feet in the sand, look at some water, and also play against a bunch of guys out of Miami that want to play against the whole country.
I like it. Right now, Miami versus the world when it comes to 9-man. They're ready to go down there at South Beach.
Yes, sir.
Anyways, Ricky, anything else you want to add tonight?
Welcome me in all the 9-man pages and all, because I know I got to go through a bunch of questionnaires just to get on a lot of guys' pages and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Let me in. I'm learning. I'm learning about the game. I'm be kind of chippy here and there, but ain't nothing personal. It's nothing but love, and it's just family, man. South Florida Flag Association got to put their foot in the ground. Shannon is our head guy, and we putting the team together. Category 5, man. We coming to play. Anybody. We don't care who it is, where you're from, Bahamas, New Zealand, over there in China, Bangkok, whatever you want, man. Hey, we got enough guys to line it up, and we can air it out. Either way you want it. You want it on the ground, you want it in there. You pick the poison.
Yeah, I've seen the ground game. Beast Mode was running out of the I formation that championship game I was watching against No Excuses. That was awesome.
Oh, that was the most craziest thing to see a man line up in I formation. But my guy Cato, he used to play for Marshall. I think he's the number 2 all-time.
You know all about Rakeem Cato.
Okay, yeah, okay.
2013 military ball. I'm a Terps fan. I was there when Marshall beat Maryland that day. He lit us up, and he lit us up bad. And then that next year, Marshall, that connection, him and Tommy Schuler, they were on fire.
And that's two of our guys right there. So I don't even have to.
Cato and Tommy Schuler. Oh shit!
I ain't even see. Look,
Murphy Daly.
See, I don't even have to. They're self-explanatory. I ain't even. All I got to do is say their names, and that's just a few pieces of the puzzle.
Bro, if that's a few pieces of the puzzle, the bigger picture is going to be a scary one for 9-man. We'll see how it goes. This is going to be awesome.
Yes, it is.
Just get down to fundamentals, play your best game.
That's it.
Know this: you get only one shot. Take it, swing for the fences, see where it goes.
Can't be scared. Go big or go home.
I like it. And I like the growth of Miami right now as a 9-man territory. I love to see a tournament down there. SFFFA. I think I hit the right number of Fs there. South Florida Flag Football Association. They're playing in February. They'll be back then. Category 5. They're heading to nationals. Anybody else from the league talking about making the jump into nationals?
No excuses, Vic Marler. He said he's also bringing the team up himself. He's going to be in the B division. That's a really loaded team that he has over there, from skill position to lineman, interior, everywhere. I think just by every piece of his team is at top level. I can't wait to see him display in the B, and we run an A. Try to go there and try to take over the whole tournament, have fun, and bring everything back to Miami.
I'm looking forward to seeing how this goes. 2 Miami teams in there, SFFA, making a statement. I'm looking forward to it. 3 months. Long time to prepare. And personally, when I look back at where 9-man was years ago, seeing the competition now coming in, seeing the names popping up, I had to double check to make sure that was the same Ricky Jean-Francois that I watched in college in the NFL. I had to do a double check there. I was like, wait a minute, this can't be. But it is. He's here. South Florida Flag Football Association is here.
I feel like we've been doing this with him for years. Man. He just kind of fits right in.
He does. Welcome to the Team Blunt Talk family, Ricky.
Oh man, thank you for having me, man. I'm glad I'm into the fan, man. I want to keep tuning in every week and keep learning more about these teams, so I can talk a little smack, get people riled up, ruffle a few feathers before national, so we can have fun when we play against each other.
That's what it's all about here on Blunt Talk. We always talk our shit. You talk your shit. We make it great.
That's like 50% of this game. Oh shit.
Tyler Spencer said it best himself. All about the psychological advantage.
That's it.
It's going to be great. Ricky, thank you for coming on tonight. Appreciate it. It's an honor to have you on. I never expected to be interviewing a former BCS national champion and a guy who's played in the NFL for a decade. He's coming to 9-man national circuit to make a statement. Category 5. There's a storm warning for Orlando Nationals weekend. It's going to be lit. It's going to be legit. Ricky, thank you for coming on to the show. We'll see you at Nationals.
Thank you, man. See you guys. Hope to link up with you guys and jump on a few videos and talk some shit to each other. All right.
We're live every week on Nationals, man.
We can definitely do that.
Come on live anytime, man. We're ready. We're down for it.
Oh no, I got you.
Every Wednesday night, you'll find us here on TBT. Appreciate you. Thank you for coming on.
All right, baby.
Ricky Jean-Francois joining us.